Hey witches, welcome to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy, a magical living podcast for the busy witch. I'm Morgan, eclectic witch of almost 25 years, Avalon priestess, and busy witch. Here we'll talk all things witchy, from current metaphysical happenings to my busy witch tips and tricks, and everything in the in-between. This podcast is my personal journey, filled with my knowledge, opinions, and unique way of looking at the world. Join me as I weave the magical and the mundane in every episode. Hey witches, welcome back to Busy, Gritty, Inked and Witchy. I'm Morgan, and today I'm going to be giving you the second most important tool for powerful magic. Yeah, the second. So don't go looking back through the archives or past episodes because there's not one called the most important tool for powerful magic. I'm going to give you that one here today too. But that one's a given, especially if you've been following me for any amount of time, or have listened to probably any podcast episode or anything that I've ever done, you will know the first one. So I'm going to be focusing on the second most important. Okay. So this has come up a lot for me recently within the last few weeks. And I'm going to start off with a story here in a second. But what it led to is after this thing happened in my life, it then spilled over into an ink spirit lesson from this past week, our prosperity magic lesson, where I had to kind of rehone it a little bit, refine it to add in some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today. But it's just been a very powerful awakening for me. Not really an awakening. A remembering, that is a much better word, a remembering and a pinpointing almost, which is why I'm so excited to share this with you all today. Okay. And then I'm going to go into 3 ways to do this. Okay. So let's just get in. Okay. So my story comes from a couple of weeks ago. My husband and I had tickets to see Kevin Hart at a casino, his stand-up. And we're on the way to the casino. We had decided to just book the entire weekend because the show was supposed to be Saturday night. And so we were just going in on Friday, staying Saturday, and then coming home on Sunday. And this was like an early anniversary treat for us. So we're on the way to the casino Friday night, and we find out that Kevin Hart has postponed his show until October. So we had no notification. They did not send an email. It was pretty much bullshit. But anyway, so we head to the casino anyway. We couldn't, we had booked, you have to cancel like 24 hours in advance or some shit. So we couldn't even cancel the rooms. So we were like, all right, well, what do we do now? And we had no plans to gamble because let me start off by saying that my husband and I have gambled twice in our life at a casino. Okay. The first time was a few years ago in Vegas, and we won $500 and then lost it all. Okay. So, but we had a lot of fun doing it. But anyway, and then a few months ago, back in like October, we went to the other casino in town. We had Joel McHale stand-up tickets, and we lost $200 very quickly. And we're like, okay, that's it for us. So we're not gamblers. We do not go to the casino. We have never won except then immediately thereafter lost it. So I feel like I need to start off with that as well. So we had decided to just have fun that weekend. We were going to relax, sleep, play, maybe gamble a little bit, and just check out from reality for a weekend. Okay. So Friday night, I'm still kind of in a mood because, I don't know, I had a beautiful weekend getaway in front of me, and I just couldn't get over the fact that, we weren't going to be seeing the show. So, Friday night, we took out $500. That was the amount of money that my husband and I were comfortable, okay, we're not great at gambling. So if we lose $500, it's not going to make or break us. You know what I mean? So we're fine with that. And that's the first thing here is, if you ever decide to gamble, only take out the amount of money you're willing to lose and not have it detrimentally affect you. Okay. So for us, it was $500. And so we immediately went to what was called Boo Bucks which was right next to the ATM because it was a Halloween witchy themed one, and immediately lost $100. And I was like, all right, this is how this weekend's going to go. This is great. So we went to dinner. We went back to the room. That was it for that night. And Saturday morning I woke up and I said, you know what? I've got to get out of this funk. Like I have a weekend at a casino, just away, checking out of reality, no working, no nothing. This is amazing, So I meditated. I talked to my husband about what our goals were for the weekend now, or like what we wanted to do. And we just decided we're just going to have fun. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want and we're going to have fun. Okay. And so I told him, I said, there was a machine I really wanted to play. It was called Hexbreaker. It just looked super cute, but I was like, there's something drawing me to this machine. And let me tell you too, I had a necklace. I was wearing my Arire quartz, which it's quartz with lepidolite, lepidocrosite, and hematite. And it's called Lucky Quartz. Like Arire is Nigerian for lucky. So it's called Lucky Quartz. I had it. My husband and I charged it with just this fun, amazing energy. Like that's what we were going to do. So we head downstairs and we go to Hexbreaker. We put $100 in and we start losing, dramatically. And then we get up to about 120. So I go ahead and cash out and I'm like, I don't know, like we look at the other two Hexbreaker machines and I'm like, I'm feeling this one over here. And he goes, you're really feeling it? And I was like, yeah, it's like this feeling in my gut. Like I'm kind of being drawn to it like a magnet. And he's like, all right. So we sit down, we put the $120 into that we had just won from the other machine. We put it into this machine and we lose it very quickly. But we're almost there. Like to not know. Anyway, there's like, you can tell if you're almost there at just like the little bit, like one of them was a $30 one and one was like a $200 one, so like we're almost there. So my husband hands me a $100 bill and he says, all right, I'm going to go to the bar. If you're really feeling this machine, he's like, we're almost there. Go and see if you can at least hit the $30 one, win some of our money back. And I'm like, all right. So I put the money in, he walks away. I hit the button a couple of times and like all of a sudden the screen goes like black with this cat, because it was like this black cat was the theme of it. And the cat starts laughing and I don't even know what happened from that point forward, but we won the $30 and then we won the $200, and this cat I had triggered something that had gotten me like 18 free spins. And so we had won the 30, we had won the 200. With this 18 free spins, a new screen had popped up and we had new goals. And I hit 2 or 3 of those. Anyway, my husband calls me from the bar because he's like, what did you do? Because all he did was turn around and like there's just jewels like flying all over the place. And I'm like, I think I just won $500. And he's like, well, I was like, I think I just won $500. So he comes back over. And we cashed out at $444. And I love that because it was like, anyway, we cashed out at $444. And walked away, and the whole time I'm laughing my ass off, you guys. That is the key here. I am giggling like a schoolgirl. Okay. Like uncontrollable belly laughing. Okay. And I'm thanking the machine. I'm thanking my guides for taking me to the machine. I'm thanking this charged Arire quartz. I'm thanking anything and everything I could possibly think. Okay. So much gratitude. So we cash out, we get up from the machine. We're walking around and I'm sitting there with my quartz, just kind of, like rubbing my quartz. And I'm like, all right, where do we go next? And I see around the corner the Zeus machine. And Zeus was the one that we had won $500 on in Vegas, but then we kept hitting the button and lost it all. And so I'm like, look, Colin, it's our old friend Zeus. And he says, you want to go play? I was like, yeah, let's go sit down with our old friend Zeus. So I literally sit down in front of this machine and I'm like, and I don't care who's around me, right? I don't give a shit. I sit there and I look up at the machine and I'm like, hey, Zeus, it's Morgan. Do you remember me from Vegas? You're our old friend Zeus. And I was like, we're going to put some money in you. It would be really cool if we could win. Okay? Because remember, we had that relationship in Vegas. You helped us win $500. And then we made the mistake. We kept playing you and we didn't honor the fact that you had just given us $500. And I apologize for that. So yes, I'm the crazy person talking to a slot machine at the casino. Okay? So we put a $100 bill in We won 400. So we cash out, because that's another key, is like when you hit above what you put in, leave, cash out and leave. Okay. If you're not, I mean, the chances of you winning the actual jackpot or something are astronomical. So if you're just there to have fun, which is what we were there to do, we cashed out. So from that point forward, and again, I thank the machine. I thank Zeus. I thank my guides. I thank my necklace for guiding me there. So we're leaving, we're exploring the casino. I look over and there's a machine called Horses for Helios, but there's a bunch of white horses. And so Rhiannon is one of my matron goddesses, and she's associated with white horses. So we're walking by this machine and I just look at Colin and I say, Colin, white horses for Rhiannon. And he goes, I don't know what that means, babe, but do you want to play it? And I'm like, uh-huh. And he goes, okay. So he gives me 100, put the 100 in the machine, hit 400 again. And again, the whole thing is like, when we're hitting big, I'm laughing uncontrollably. Like, I didn't force it. It just came because it was almost like there was a state of disbelief of like, oh my God, did I just fucking do this again? Holy shit. At this machine, we did have a couple of people watching. We had a creeper dude sit down directly next to me and play the machine next to me, but he wasn't even looking at his machine. He was just looking at my machine. So I think he was trying to like absorb my mojo. So I did put up like protective, barriers, like energetic barriers against him. But at the end of the day, and let me tell you, not everything was a win. When I did not follow my intuition and I sat down at a machine that didn't feel right, we lost $100. Okay. At the end of the weekend, we had started out with the original 500 that we had taken out of the ATM. We were well over 1,600 when we left the casino on Sunday. Okay. And I sat down when I got home, I journaled because I was like, how did this work? Why did this work? And I know that number one, I had shed all of the shit from the night before. Cause like Friday night, we lost $100, So energetically, I had reset myself, and my husband and I were there to have fun. Okay. If we lost the $500, we lost it. We were there for the experiences and to have fun. But the thing that was very weird to me that stood out was the laughter, the uncontrollable laughter that occurred from winning. But I've never had this type of, because like, it's like I was just open. I had opened myself, and that opening of myself, that unhinged, that entering this childlike curiosity of what happens if I put $100 into this machine that I'm feeling very drawn to. But I felt that I was, first of all, following my intuition. But it was this uncontrollable laughter throughout the whole weekend that I had. And I realized that that was it. That was the difference, because I express gratitude everywhere and every place I go for everything in my life. So the gratitude was nothing new, The having fun was nothing new. I have fun where I go. I live very much in the moment, but it was this uncontrollable laughter and this pure, unadulterated joy. And that's when I realized that was what made this trip different. And that's what made this experience different and more powerful, was the following my gut and expressing, just sitting in the pure emotion of the moment, which was joy, and expressing it freely without giving any fucks who was watching me laugh like a crazy person, So that's the story. And that's what's led to today's episode. Okay. It also led into me rewriting the prosperity magic lesson for my Ink Spirit Coven members this week, to add this in there, to add the joy in there, because this is the second most important tool for powerful magic. The first one, of course, is you. Okay, I say that everywhere. You are the magic. You are the only thing you need for magic. Your energy, your essence, your intention, your focus. That is what makes a spell powerful. Okay, the more of you that you can infuse into a spell or an intention or a ritual, the more that it is aligned with who you are and your energy, and the more powerful it will be. Okay, so the number one most important tool for powerful magic is you. Okay, this is like piggybacking off of that. So the number two most important tool for powerful magic is fun, pleasure, joy, however you want to see that. Okay, raising your vibe to a level to meet your wish is the key, okay? And the easiest way to raise your vibrational level to attract what it is that you are seeking, what it is that you desire, is fun, laughter, joy, okay? Fun, laughter, pleasure, joy. This is the easiest way to raise your vibrational level. When you are happy, when you are in a moment of joy, when you are in a moment of pleasure, and pure laughter and pure happiness, you are open. Your body expands out for you to receive back to you what you're putting out. When you are low vibrational and you're depressed or you're jealous or you're angry, your body constricts and you block amazing things from coming to you. And this is what you attract back. Okay, you attract more of what makes you constrict and restrict. And that's what happens when you are of low vibrational energy. Okay, high vibrational energy, which is associated with joy, happiness, pleasure, it makes you expand outwards. Okay, so when you laugh, which is pure joy, and I was telling this story on my other podcast with Megan Winkler, Two Witches Talking. But I think that one will come out after this one just because of the way that we record. When I was talking about how this uncontrollable laughter was the difference, she said, oh, well, you're activating your solar plexus and your sacral chakras. And I'm like, son of a bitch, you do. When you are in a full belly laugh, I mean, and not a fake laugh. When you fake laugh, you're fake laughing from like your chest up. You're like, oh, you can feel it. You know, that fake laughter comes from just about your chest upward, and that's it. But when you're laughing so hard you're crying, that comes from your belly. That comes from your solar plexus, which is right around your diaphragm, right above your belly button, and your sacral chakra, which is right below your belly button. That's where you're laughing from. That's what's being activated during laughter, okay? Your solar plexus has to do with your personal power, your confidence, knowing who you are, okay? Your sacral chakra, which I preach all the time, this is your cauldron of creativity. This is where your magic comes from, okay? This is where your emotion is stored. This is where your desire is held. So if you're trying to perform a spell for something you desire, you have got to activate your sacral chakra because that's where your desire lives. And then you got to let it free, which is done through laughter. Okay. So I even talk about the sacral chakra, divine feminine energy, creation magic. Go back to episode 144. Why are you a witch? And I talk about it a lot there. Okay. And then if you're a Patreon bonus person, the bonus content for that episode 144 is all about how to activate your sacral chakra. Okay. So I say, and this is what like I said, I called it a remembering earlier in the episode because for me, that's what it was. Like I knew this information. It lives in my brain. But to experience it was to remember it and to bring it to the forefront of my mind and to make it a focal point moving forward in my magic. I say when performing magic, when manifesting, whatever you want to call it, have fun, laugh, snort laugh, full belly laugh. Do not do a fake laugh from your chest up. You're activating nothing there except maybe your throat chakra, but then you're just going to clear it out and whatever. Enter a state of childlike pure joy. And that is the other word that I can associate with the laughter that I had. I was giggling like a schoolgirl. Like when the little jewels start to, slot machines keep you addicted. I mean, they want you to sit there, okay? They want you to win that $400 and then continue to push that button. So they dazzle you with lights and sirens and big thing across the screen that says huge win and jewels flying everywhere. So that was another thing. Like as these jewels were flying, I was recording so I could send the video to my kids. I was taking pictures of our little slips that print out with the cash out slips and sending them to my kids. But I was uncontrollably laughing. Like I just was sitting there almost in a state of disbelief, which comes from curiosity. Not a bad state of disbelief, but like, oh, holy shit, did I just do it again? And even just saying that, like remembering this state, you can see it if you're watching on YouTube. I go back to it immediately and just my whole face lights up because I did it machine after machine after machine. And it was just like, what the fuck? This is so crazy. This is so amazing. I cannot fucking believe that I'm doing this. And that was the energy that I took with me the whole fucking day. And even into the next morning, they gave us $35 in free play. And between that, we ended up putting in 100 and we walked out with another 264, which went into the over 1600 that we walked away with that day. So that was the difference for the weekend, was that childlike belly laughing curiosity, joy, just that, oh my God, holy shit, So what I'm going to go over now are 3 easy ways to add joy, fun, pleasure, laughter to your magic, your spell, or your ritual. Okay, flipping the book. Sorry, that was a big slam. I did that with some gusto there. Number 1, visualize you receiving the thing you are casting the spell for. Okay, that's like Magic 101. But here's the thing, and this is where I'm really going to nail it home. If the thought of you getting what it is that you're trying to manifest or what you're performing the spell for, if the thought of getting that doesn't bring you joy, like pure unadulterated joy, why the fuck are you doing it? Seriously. If the thought of getting what you want doesn't make you happy, what is going on? Everybody loves to get what they want. Even if you're putting a bitch in a jar, okay, and you think that you have to stay in this state of anger. Because let me tell you, I've performed spells with pure emotion. Emotion is emotion, okay? So if someone has pissed you off so bad that you're putting a bitch in a jar, okay, you pour that anger into it. But while you're doing the spell and you're pouring all your shit in there, you need to take a step back and be like, oh, when this person is gone from my life, how am I going to feel? And if that doesn't bring a smile to your face, figure out how to do it. Figure out how to bring a smile to your face, because you're getting what you want. And that everyone wants to get what they want. And if you heard me say that, everyone wants to get what they want, and you have a twinge of, oh, that's selfish, that's a shadow that you need to get to the bottom of, because that is reality. Everyone wants to get what they want. Everyone does. There's not a person in this world that is like, getting what I want, I hate that. So everyone wants to get what they want. That brings joy. It's not selfish. It brings you joy. Okay? So feel the happiness associated with getting this thing, this achievement, accomplishing this goal, achieving this intention. Sit there with it. Like, how does it make you feel when you get that? Oh my God. If it does not bring a smile to your face, why are you doing it? Okay? So sit in that joy of receiving the thing that you're putting your energy into. The smile it brings, the laughter. Be like, oh my God, I fucking manifested this. How amazing does that feel? And let the joy expand. Let it make you laugh. Let it make you giggle. Like, even like I said, if you are putting a bitch in a jar, okay, giggle like an evil little laugh. Like, oh, this person's never going to bother me again and I can't fucking wait. Yes. And giggle like an evil little giggle. Okay. So visualize the thing that you are wanting. Visualize it being yours, and that should bring you joy, bring a smile to your face, bring on laughter, giggles, whatever. Okay. Number 2, stimulate laughter from an outside source. So energy is energy. Okay. Honestly, sometimes it does not matter where it comes from. Okay. So if you are performing your spell and you're not quite there at like full belly laughter, fucking grab your phone, listen to your favorite comic, scroll some memes, something that gets you rolling in laughter, activates that solar plexus, that sacral chakra, and then focus that energy that you're building, that full belly laugh, on your intention, on receiving your intention. Like, this is how I'm going to feel when I get it. Okay. Yeah. Number 3, do something during your spell that brings you pure joy. Okay. So some people color. They'll color, they'll focus. That brings them pure joy and pure bliss. Dance, pull cards, stab it, pop it over and over and over again. If that's what brings you joy, if that's what elicits the giggle, if you are putting a bitch into a jar and you have a little poppet and you just want to take a pen just real quick and just stab, and that makes you giggle, like you're like, then do it. Okay. Even if it's cheesy, whatever it is, go all in. And look, I am a firm believer that the cheesier, the better. Okay? Because a cheese factor gets you giggling. A cheese factor loosens you up. A cheese factor puts you in this state of, what the fuck? You know what? Fuck it. It's going to work anyway because it's going to bring a smile to your face. So I've said this to my ink spirit people before. When it comes to like writing spells, if you want to rhyme your spell and you rhyme it, and it is the cheesiest shit ever, like someone from Charmed wrote it, but it makes you giggle, it's going to work because it elicited that giggle from you. Okay. So giggling like a child, to me, is the most powerful form of joy and happiness that you can tap into. So if you can do this during your spell, that's going to make your spell even more powerful. Okay? Release judgment on yourself, because a lot of people will judge themselves. They're like, oh my God, that is so cheesy. Why does that bring me joy? Never mind, I won't even do it. If it brings you joy, if it is cheesy, it does not matter who is around or what. Release the judgment from yourself or on yourself and go for it. Okay. I was laughing like a schoolgirl in front of a group of people, strangers. I didn't give a shit. They were there watching my little screen like blue, 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 blue. And I could not stop laughing. I pulled out my phone. I recorded it. I looked at Colin. I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing so fucking hard and I did not give a shit. And if anyone out there is like, oh my God, you were laughing and it was only $400. Yes, I was fucking laughing as if I had just won a $15,000 jackpot, or I had just won the jackpot that got me a new car. I was laughing that hard and that amazingly over $400. Yes, I was 100%. Okay. No judgment. All right. So that's what I have for you all today. I know, kind of like an abrupt end, but that's what I have. The three ways to increase the joy, laughter, pleasure within your spell. And just being able to share my story. I fought with, I'm not going to lie, I fought with whether or not to share this story because I took $500, turned it into $1,600. And I understand that there are people that are listening to this that'd be like, that bitch. But really, I could have lost all of my money and they probably would still be like, that bitch. But I loved telling the story in the prosperity magic lesson because I could see in the Zoom call, the smiles from people who, that's how you know you found your people. You found those people that they're going to root for you no matter what is happening. They're going to root for you. And I loved seeing that. But that's when I was like, you know what? Fuck what other people think. This is a moment of pure joy, pure bliss for me. And it taught me a lot about my own power, but my own magic, especially, and what I am capable of tapping into, because every machine that I was drawn to by intuition, I won on. The ones that I tried to sit down and force, like, oh, that's a cute little one, let me try this one, I lost money at. So it was a huge lesson for me in following my intuition, but opening myself up to just the flow of abundance and the flow of pure happiness and joy. And it just so happened to pay off. I say big for us. For those of you that are like, oh, $1,600 is nothing. It's huge for us. I mean, to take 500, turn it into 1,600, but just the fun and the experience, that's something I will never forget. So, but yeah, that's what I have for you all today. Over on Patreon, the bonus content for this episode are 5 ways to add more joy to your life in general. And this is from my own playbook, I guess you could say. These are 5 ways that I add more joy to my life in general and just stay in that energy of happiness and pleasure and abundance and all of that. So with a paid Patreon membership, which the bottom tier just starts at $5 a month, you get bonus content for every podcast episode, but you also get a shout out for all of the tiers. You get a shout out on my podcast. So I want to say a huge thank you to my new paid members this week. Diane, thank you. Lizzie, thank you. Sean, thank you. Deb, thank you. And Susan, thank you so much for being paid Patreon members. If you want to learn more and decide which tier to join, you can head over to patreon.com/inkedgoddesscreations. I have also done a lot of talking about, we're doing prosperity magic for the month of June in the Ink Spirit Coven. So you can head to Inked Spirit Coven. No, that's not correct. It's inkedspirit.com. Or if you're on my website, inkgoddesscreations.com, you'll see a coven like thing in the header. You can click on that too. But you can read all about the coven. You can join us, where our platform is completely on Circle now, which is a community platform, but that's where our lesson archives are, our chat. It's beautiful. And then the lessons are held live on Zoom with the replays added to the lesson archives. So I would love to have you join my online coven as well. I want to thank you all for being here, for listening to my podcast. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're a listener and you've never viewed it on YouTube, it's pretty fun. I make fun facial expressions, so you can head to my YouTube channel to actually watch the episodes. But yes, if you like, share, subscribe, then the algorithm sends the podcast out to other like-minded people so that they can find it as well. So thank you for being here, for giving me a platform to share my knowledge, my path, my journey, all of that fun stuff. And I will see you all next week. Bye. If you're looking for a magical community where you can just be yourself, check out my Ink Spirit Coven. The Coven is an online learning circle for eclectic witches who want to learn new witchcraft practices and how to easily incorporate magic into their daily lives, all while being supported on their personal spiritual journey. And you'll have me as your magical mentor, sharing my knowledge, answering questions, and facilitating the online community. Head to inkspirit.com to learn more and join. And if unique witchcraft supplies made by witches for witches is just what you need, head to my store, inkgoddesscreations.com, to see what we have to enhance your magical practice. We also have the Ink Goddess Creations box, a monthly subscription of magic mail filled with exclusive items that fit a magical theme. Head to the site to see this month's theme and sneak peeks.